Hello and welcome to Plus Sports on Plus TV Africa on Wednesday. Today, as always, middle of the week, you get me, your host, Mikhail Tinubu. I am joined today by Seun Ajidagba, and we're going to be discussing a lot of tennis stories, and some of it is local, some of it is foreign. Seun.
Good morning, Mikhail. It's a pleasure joining you on Plus Sport on Plus TV Africa.
Welcome, welcome. I know you always say that this player, this particular athlete is no joke. So we're going to start with him. Novak Djokovic had a comfortable win to start his Italian Open challenge, beating Aslan Karatsev 6-3, 6-2. The world number one had little trouble in dealing with last year's Australian Open semi-finalist, bar an early break of serve in the third game of the match. He now meets the winner of the match between Stan Wawrinka and Laszlo Djere. With Federer's age and his and Nadal's recent injury record, the fact that Djokovic is still plying his trade, no seemingly slowed down, no sluggishness in his game, and the fact that he has been the world number one for the longest period now, longer than anyone has ever been number one, is his career going to last much longer than Nadal and Federer?
Well, that remains to be seen. Mikhail, no disrespect to Novak Djokovic. He's younger than those two that you just mentioned.
True.
But one thing is very instructive. He has one shot of the greatest of all time, whichever way you want to look at it. If you are looking at it in terms of Grand Slam titles, you have to give it to Rafael Nadal. But if you are giving it to someone who has, on and off the court, been a perfect gentleman, you want to say it's Roger Federer. But for Novak Djokovic, he has not done well on clay. From Stuttgart to Mutua Madrid Open, where he lost to the 19-year-old Carlos Alcaraz, who was a protege in the training camp of a certain Rafael Nadal. In actual fact, he beat his mentor to going on to win the final by beating Alexander Zverev. Now, going into the second Grand Slam of the year, definitely Novak Djokovic will be part of it after missing out of the Australian Open because of issue of not taking vaccine or no vaccine. But when you talk about the dirty surface, you can't take out a certain Novak Djokovic, but the man to lean towards will definitely the man who has conquered that surface with 13 Grand Slams and the greatest of all time when it comes to the French Open, Rafael Nadal. But watch out for some players also who can be a clog in the wheel to people like Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic. On the names like Carlos Alcaraz, Daniel Medvedev, Dominic Thiem, Alexander Zverev, and Stefanos Tsitsipas. These guys are going to come good and ruffle shoulders.
On the basis of who has the most titles, for Djokovic to end his career, he has to win 2 more majors. One to catch up to Nadal, and 2 to surpass him. Does he still have the time and the energy to do that?
I said that the biggest upset that happens is usually in the female tennis, where there is no respecter of anybody. Yes, we know the woman who has the most Grand Slams is Margaret Court. She's retired. Serena Williams is on 23. It's safe to say that Serena Williams has retired because these young stars are coming up and they are springing surprises. Today you will see Bianca Andreescu. Tomorrow you see Iga Swiatek. Next tomorrow you will see a certain Raducanu. So there is nothing to suggest that anybody can hold on to winning the Grand Slam. Ashley Barty has retired. We don't know whether she's coming back. Naomi Osaka is not in her best mood. Same as Simone Halep. But for a certain Novak Djokovic, I'm sure
of those
small boys
players,
would come good.
Let's take a look at women's tennis in Rome. Bianca Andreescu reached the second round of the Italian Open in Rome as Emma Raducanu was forced to retire from their match early in the second set. Both players won surprise US Open titles as teenagers and were both in Canada and have Romanian heritage, with Andreescu's career since her 2019 win in Flushing Meadows also hampered by injury. Raducanu left the court for a medical timeout at 2-5 in the first set, and despite seeming to move more freely upon her return, could do little to halt the process. She unfortunately had to pull out of the game. Now, let's take a look at the track. We never like to see players pull out of games, tournaments, or any kind of matchup due to injury. And unfortunately for Raducanu, this particular match was something she could not carry on. Seun, I always worry that with the physicality involved in tennis, especially for women's tennis, a lot of these young teenagers may not have the conditioning necessary to especially play on a court such as the clay one in Rome.
I agree with you, Mikel. For Emma Raducanu, the US Open champion, playing against the former US Open champion, Andreescu, she had to retire. And you must say that for Emma Raducanu, after winning the US Open, that is the 5th time.
Well, if she's unable to win such games, because clay makes up such a huge part of the year's calendar in tournaments, if she's unable to compete regularly, if a lot of these young teenage female athletes and even their male counterparts suffer more injuries on clay than they do on grass, that's a lot of tournaments they're leaving on the table unable to win.
You know, it's a different surface on the clay. One of the best surfaces to play is SW19, which is grass. Some are places like Australia Open, they are hard courts. And for clay, it's a dirty surface. If you are not careful, you might hurt yourself. So for Emma Raducanu, it's rather sad that after winning the US Open, in the tournament she has taken part in, she has withdrawn like 5 times, which really is not good for her.
Is it possible, though, for a tennis player to lay claim to being the best in the world if they can only specialize on grass and not play well enough to win tournaments on clay?
So why people like Djokovic, Roger Federer, and of course Rafael Nadal would be respected is that all the surfaces at Australia Open, which is hard court, at French Open, which is clay, at SW19, which is grass, and at
Seun? Seems we're having difficulty. Now let's move on to the ASO Table Tennis National Championship of 2022, which ended on Sunday with top seeds Delta's Fatimo Bello and Ondo's Ome Amadi winning the women's singles and men's singles titles at the Gymnastic Hall of the MKO Abiola Stadium in Abuja. Fatimo Bello defeated Bosse Odunsoya 3-1, while the men's category witnessed National Sports Festival champion Ome Amadi of Ondo defeated youngster Abdul Fatai Abdul Basit from Kwara State 4-1. During the closing ceremony, in an interview with journalists, the organizers said the event achieved the objective by discovering new talent that will help improve table tennis in Nigeria.
On the interview day, that because of the crop of players we have presently in Nigeria, it is difficult for one particular player to retain a particular title. And it will play out here. You've seen what happened. the former champion have been taken out. And that is what it will keep on happening. Now, that in essence tell you that Nigerian players on daily basis are improving, and it is out of the hard work we at the Federation have put in place, the modules we have adopted to make sure that our players are competitive, compliance alone to compete anywhere in the world. And that is what has happened here today. I want to tell you also, if there's life next year, the 16th edition of ASO Championship will be more than what you're seeing today. For a template, we have a pool that these ones that have been newly discovered will be integrated into the pool and begin to now nurture them to face the world. Nigeria, of course, they have defined the benchmark in Nigeria, but what we're doing now as a federation is to bring them to the pool and now integrate them into those ones that are already doing very well, and they also begin to grow from there. So that's what we do in the federation.
We announced that what we expect when we started, that's what we got, and a little more. Because when we said we were a little apprehensive at the beginning when the registration was less than last year, but 22 states came plus FCT and 9 clubs. And over 300 players. And I think it's only one, only one person that was able to retain the championship. We have new champions. And that's what we say, we want to discover new ones, and that is what has happened. So I'm very happy that this is what we expect and this is what has happened. So we are looking forward to the next edit. It came with cadets and junior.
Seun, it seems to me that the likes of Quadri Aruna are going to have a lot of proteges and potential mentees going forward in the near future. The development of table tennis in Nigeria seems to be bringing out more talent for us to improve ourselves and our standing in those sports.
Well, Mika, while I want to agree with you, I also want to disagree. Yes, the president of the Nigerian Table Tennis Federation, Tuchel, is trying his best possible in unearthing talent as far as table tennis is concerned. But to be honest, when you take out Aaron Okodri, Olajide Omotayo, who again can you lean towards? In the female, there is nothing to write home about. The girls are not strutting their stuff at all. That's why we still look towards a certain Funke Shonaike. So for Aaron Okodri, world number 10 and Africa's number 1, he's the one pushing us in that positive light. There's nobody again coming up that you can beat your chest to say, oh, okay, this is another emergency pastor.
But Seun,
that's my worry.
You will admit that in trying to unearth talent and trying to improve on the stock of available athletes in a given sport, tournaments such as these ones are incredibly necessary.
Yes, they need tournaments like this. But again, they can't only play this one tournament in several months. They need to play consistently. From both local and international, you continue to play matches. And that's how you can get better. And that's the honest truth.
All right. We'll look forward to the more table tennis games and tournaments in Nigeria, and hopefully maybe even the rest of Africa. Now, a deal may be in place for the takeover at Chelsea, but the situation at the Premier League club's training ground remains difficult. Manager Thomas Tuchel said on Tuesday, May 10th. Chelsea confirmed last week that terms have been agreed with the consortium, led by Los Angeles Dodgers pot owner Todd Bowley and backed by Clear Lake Capital over the £4.25 billion acquisition of the London club. Since the international break, Tuchel has repeatedly said The takeover has been a distraction, with the club eliminated from the Champions League and being sucked into a battle for third place in the Premier League. The sanctions did not allow Chelsea to renew player contracts, with key defender Antonio Rudiger set to leave, and Tuchel said that had caused distractions. So when managers go through difficult moments and periods with their teams, they opt to make excuses. But in this case, this is a major reason. But how significant do you think this distraction has made an impact in how far Chelsea were able to go in the Champions League?
Michael, while I would not want to disagree with Thomas Tuchel that they are having issues, but the honest truth is that some of these excuses are a bit lame. Why they are lame is because they have conquered this situation. Initially, when it started, I expected Chelsea to falter, and they kept going, The coach kept encouraging them. Now that it seems as if the coast is getting clearer, and Chelsea are having a new owner, and you are now 14, and you want to now hinge it on that, that for me will not go down well with you.
But don't you think that sometimes the level of fatigue that builds up, mental fatigue that builds up from handling and dealing with the situation, can oftentimes affect you closer to the end of that situation resolving? And wouldn't that be the case in this instance?
I agree, but look at how Chelsea have been playing in recent times. They've been playing like they are disinterested. In the last 3 matches, 2 draws and 1 loss. And their team, they should have gotten over. Against Manchester United at Old Trafford, United was there for the taking. Against Everton at Goodison Park, Everton are not playing any beautiful football anymore. But they got that result. Against Wolverhampton Wanderers, they surrendered a 2-goal lead. This is not Chelsea-like attitude, and that's why I'm worried.
All right, Seun, thank you so much for joining me today on Plus Sports on Plus TV Africa. Always a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Mika. It's my pleasure.
Have a wonderful day. And to everyone at home or at work, wherever you're choosing to join us on Plus Sports on Plus TV Africa as your destination for all of your sports news needs. As always, I say thank you. My name is Mikhail Tinubu, and as I always say, life is never boring with some sports. Have a wonderful day.